Hey everyone, it's Rocky. And I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, and I just wanted to sit down and have a real conversation with you. No fancy edits, no over the top energy, just me talking to you. I want to share why I've been gone, what's going on in my life, and what's next for the channel. And most importantly, I want to remind you no matter how dark things get, there's always light at the end of the tunnel as long as you keep walking forward. To be honest, the past several months have been really tough. Depression and anxiety have been weighing on me, and it all started back in July last year when I was laid off from my tech job. You know, I told everybody about it, and I kind of had disappeared for a month or two then and didn't make any videos. Losing that job, it felt like a huge setback, and it really shook my confidence, especially, I was applying for jobs from like July until December, and you know I'm on LinkedIn and they're telling me I am the top candidate. I match all of the skills. They've promoted me to the top of the list and blah 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 blah. And then every, other Sunday I get at least 4 or 5 emails like a couple hours after I apply to the job because I can't sleep and I'm up till 3 a.m. in the morning just applying to any and every job that LinkedIn says my skills match for. I don't care the pay rate. I don't care the hours. I'm just wanting to work at that point. But yeah, only at 1 in the morning on a Sunday to get back like an email from the HR department generated AI bot to let me know that even though they were very impressed by my high qualifications that they are unfortunately going to go with other applicants at this time, but highly recommend that I keep applying for more jobs with their company. And it just, oh, it yeah, it shook my confidence, as you can see. But eventually, I pushed forward and I got back into creating videos. Then in late September, early October, we went through the 2 hurricanes here in Florida, and I took another little like month-ish pause almost on making videos. Thankfully, my area, my part of Florida, was safe. We didn't have any major damage in our area. Our roof was already pretty old. It was already like 20 something years old, so it needed to be redone anyway. But yeah, nothing nothing bad happened. I think like the worst thing is our fence. The worst thing, at least for us, I think most people on the street maybe had to get like their roofs redone, but they were all in the similar boat. Their houses were 20 years old. The gate to our fence got blown in and pushed back so hard it knocked it off of the little hinges that hold it there. So if that was the worst thing that happened, just one of my gates is broke on my fence, I'm very happy. But even though we knew we were going to be somewhat safe, we're not in a high flood zone area or any. We're in one of actually the more higher areas when it comes to where flooding happens in my part of Florida. So we kind of felt like we were going to be somewhat fortunate, but we still wanted to be, safe about it. My husband has a shop that's a little further down the street, and it never really goes out like when it comes to power and things like that. It's on an even higher high area, so I think it's like considered like flood zone A. I think is supposed to be like the best one possible, or flood zone Z is maybe the last one evacuate. Whatever is the last one evacuated, that it's that zone. Like they almost never evacuate that area where his workshop is. So we load up the car, we go down there with the two. At this point, we have the 2 dogs, Buster and Diesel. Buster is my 14-year-old Chihuahua, and Diesel at this point was just now, like a year and some change old. So he was not used to the hurricanes. This was Diesel's first hurricane season. Buster's been through them. He's normally does really good about them. He's not that type of typical Chihuahua where he got scared or like fearful about things. The fireworks would go off or like lightning. He may like bark or like come to me and want a little bit of loving. And hey, I'm fine with that. I love my lap dogs. But we still wanted to go ahead and relocate. So we relocate with the dogs, and power, the first hurricane, we kept power the whole time, which was nice. That was very helpful. But we noticed like Buster was a little different after this first hurricane. He seemed a little bit more stressed out than usual. So then the second hurricane happens. We do the same thing. We pack up, we go down there, but this time we lose power. And we were without power at the shop for a couple of days, and then his mom got power back on first, and we went to her house. And then about 3 days later after that, we were without power almost a full week at my house. So anything in my fridge was basically like the bubonic plague. It was terrible, horrible. Oh my God, the smell when I opened up that freezer. And I should have prepared better. I should have known better, but I didn't, because I didn't think we were going to be without power that long. The worst has normally been is like 2-3 days since we've moved into this house, and we've been here almost like 10 years now. So I really thought we were going to be okay. I have learned. I'm going to properly like prepare my freezer and stuff next time. So yeah, that melted ice cream that sat in there for like 7 days. Woo boy, that was fun cleaning it up. It smelled great. Anyway, sorry, I have to inject a little bit of humor here and there, because while some of these topics for a lot of people may not feel like a lot or heavy to talk about, for me, because it was personal, they're a little heavy. So I use humor to make the heavy things feel better. But so we go and deal with the second hurricane, and while we're there, like, Buster started sneezing a little bit before these hurricanes happened, but it didn't seem anything major. He has seasonal allergies that happen, so I just thought with all the wind being blown around and whatnot, all the dust and whatnot, the mold in the air and the pollen, that's maybe just, it got me really sneezy too with these two hurricanes and like the air just blowing everything around. So I thought maybe it was just, his allergies. I planned a vet trip once the our power and everything got restored. I was like, okay, let me call the vet and let's get him in. And they were a little busy, so I was like, it's okay, we'll just take that day, whatever. Not thinking tons about it, but his breathing was starting to get a little funnier. And right as I'm like, okay, let's call them tomorrow. Let's see if we can bump up his appointment. Let's see if we can get him in sooner. We wake up the morning of October 20th, and he passed away here in our home. And Buster wasn't just a pet. I know I'm going to feel or sound like one of those dog moms that people will make fun of. If you want to make fun of me in the comments for being that type of dog mom, that's cool. Whatever. But Buster, he wasn't just a pet. He was family. And if you've had pets for a really long time, like I have, I've basically always had a pet since I was a little kid. I can remember having always a dog, even though we were in military housing. We always had a dog or a cat, or I have had hamsters and rats and guinea pigs. I've always had a pet, and they do begin feeling like part of your family, especially when they live as long as Buster does. And we had him ever since a puppy. He was the runt, so he really shouldn't have made it, but thanks to my mother-in-law, who was out there when Buster was born, she took him in, she nursed him. We got him around the 8-week mark, and he was so happy, a little ball of fuzz. But my husband and I, like I was trying to get to, had made the decision early in our relationship that we didn't want kids. So Buster was like our child, and losing him felt like losing a piece of my heart. And it became really difficult to find the joy in creating content. And I'm going to be honest, to really find the joy in anything. I love video games, like even playing video games, just none of it felt fun anymore. And every time I tried to finally sit down and create a video or create some nail design that I could present to everybody, it just felt like something was missing, or I was just so overcritical of my own work that I just would delete everything and not even show anybody. And then December comes, and along with it is another bit of an emotional hit. December 20th, funny enough, like 3 months afterwards, marked the 1 year anniversary of my father-in-law's passing. And he wasn't just my husband's dad. That's not how I ever saw him. He was like a father to me, especially since my stepdad had been out of my life since I was 18, a little bit before I was 18, and I'm 39 now. And I never knew my real father. My mom was a teenage mother who, it could have been a couple different guys. And yeah, I didn't want to go down those rabbit holes. It's whatever. When you get to a certain age, you're just like, I don't care. And I've told some people in videos, and if you didn't catch those videos, my husband is not my husband. I call him my husband because it makes life a little easier than saying he's been my boyfriend of like the last 15 years. And I've known him since I was 13 years old. So considering we never really married, and his family took me in like that and made me feel like family like that when I didn't have my own, it was comforting. It was very nice. And that anniversary just brought back like a lot of grief, and I got stuck in this really dark place. But just when I started to think maybe, okay, things are going to turn around, because even though this dark anniversary came up on December 20th, at the start of December, I started a new job again. And it was a contractor role, but this job that I was going in for, they told us there was about another year left on this project, and there was already people that had been on this project for 4 or 5 years. So it just, even though going into it, you're a contractor, you're like, okay, well, I'm probably going to get a year out of this contract, and that's okay. I will take that. So I go, I start working, everything's great. I love the people, the management is awesome, and I like I said, I was feeling hopeful. I felt like, okay, I'm going to get everything back on track. But not even like 4 or 5 weeks into the job, it was like the first full week into January. It was like January 7th, I think. The company decided to announce that they were going to cut funding for this, the contractors on this project, and laying off all the contractors. Me included, obviously, because I am at the bottom of the totem pole. I literally just came in a couple weeks ago. But all the people who had been there 4 or 5 years, they were all getting cut and laid off too. So, this happening at the first week of January, it broke me. I was like, okay, Happy New Year. How can it get any worse? And I totally spiraled out of control. And I really started telling myself that I was a failure, that I was this 39-year-old loser who she can't get her life together for anything. Like, what is wrong with you? And for the past month, I let myself just sit here in darkness. I still kept applying to jobs. So, I mean, I didn't totally stop. I didn't go do the bed rot thing. I think that's the thing people supposedly do now, at least from all the we're going to talk about that. But at least from all the social media that I have been overindulging in while I have been not working again now for almost the past month. Yeah, I didn't do that. I wasn't like bed rotting. I have another dog, Diesel, as a lot of you know, and I still get up, take him outside. We still have to go on walks every day. If you don't, he is going to be very grumpy with you. He expects his hour walk now every day. So, yeah. So, even though I was sitting here in the darkness, I did still keep applying to jobs. And eventually, even though I didn't have a job yet, I had to keep reminding myself, this isn't the first time in life that I've been knocked down. I have been through some times that are, pretty easy. Some of these times I'm probably explaining may feel pretty easy, but I have been through some harder times too. And some of those times were pretty bleak, and somehow I still managed to come out on the other side. I may be a little bruised. I may be a little different. I may see things through different colored glasses now, but I was still standing. Like that Elton John song, I'm still standing. I promise I won't force you guys to hear too much singing, but I couldn't help it. So I started to do a little soul searching, and I reminded myself of lessons I've learned over the years. And I realized if I could get through all of those storms, I can batter through this one too. And that's why I'm back. Not because everything is suddenly perfect. I don't see the whole world in rose colored glasses yet, and I probably never will. I really never have. But because I refuse to let the darkness to win. And I want to remind anyone else who might be struggling, you are not alone. Keep walking. There is light ahead. I know you can't see it yet, but there is light at that end of the tunnel. Just keep walking. Now, let's move on to something a little less heavy. Probably something most of you are now I'm going to watch my YouTube stats like instantly fall off here. And that's okay. But I want to talk about what's next for the channel. Because there's some of you here that have been watching my videos since the very first day. We are coming up on 1 year. Oh my goodness. But I love doing nails. As Chad Michaels, as Cher would say, I love them. The wigs. I love them. I love them. I just love nails. I love talking about them. I love creating with them. I love experimenting with new techniques. I love sharing designs with everybody. And that's never going to change. But at the same time, I've realized, and I put this out there in the water a few times, I want to explore more. And YouTube, I see you. I know you want us to stick to one topic, and that's why people will have like 9 different channels. But like Charlie XCX has said, I don't care. And I don't. Hashtag my brat summer, okay? Even though it's not summer, I live in Florida, so let's be real. When is it not summer, okay? All right. So nails will still be here. That's never going to stop. We are always going to interject videos with nails and nail tutorials, nail advice. All of that fun stuff is not going to stop. But I also want to bring in some lighthearted social commentary. And maybe you're one of the newer people here who have, come in because of one of those social commentary videos. And I do want to start diving into some more creative topics. Because at the end of the day, this channel isn't just about nails. It's about what I've always pushed. It's about being creative. It's about expression. It's about having fun. Just have fun. And I want this to be a space where we can talk about anything. We can laugh. We can cry. We can share all the things that make life interesting, good, bad, or hopefully indifferent. So if you've been sticking with me through all of this, thank you. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. And if you're new here, welcome to the Madhouse. We've got some exciting things coming, and I can't wait to share them with you all. And I know I've said this a couple times, but there's a lot going on out there in the world. Just in general, there is a lot going on out there in the world. Like my home state of California, there is a lot happening. If you're struggling, just know you're not alone. Keep going. Keep walking. Because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And, we got to end the videos the same way as always. I will see you all in the next video. And as always, like we say here, be pure, be honest, and be beautiful. I'll see y'all soon in the next video. I hope you have a great day, a great evening. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Bye-bye.